CRPHA, and today we're going to be talking about two things. Well, maybe more than two things, really. Let's see. I know that many people have heard about that redhead woman comic, although I can remember her name offhand. But I did when I saw the news report. Um, she did a un-American thing, and that is by going against the president of this country, being the U.S. of A. Regardless if she agreed with him or liked him or what have you else, or if she disliked him for any reason, she claims that, according to news reports, anyways, she claims that he broke that our current president Donald J. Trump broke her. And yet, on postings even on Facebook, that Comey claims that Donald Trump broke her and broke him actually as well. Although the way he's been bitching around is that you might as well call him a her, really, in that sense. The fact of it is that Donald Trump works a certain way different than many other presidents ever have. But the basic fact is he's doing it logically, realistically within the Constitution of this country. The Democrats don't like that, though. The liberals do not like that. They want him to do exactly what Obama did. That's why they were bitching and moaning and trying to save Obamacare, for one. They want things to go their way versus the realistic, logical way. And therefore, they're feeding every negative bullshit information to the American people through the liberal media that you see. And the liberal media, in which I also agree with Donald Trump on, known to be fake news, is every NBC affiliate news station from KCRA3, what was then, of course, KRON 4. I believe KRON 4 is probably still independent right now, but they weren't when I was growing up. And also CBS, ABC, Channel 7, KGO, all the other ones all across the United States, all the way up to New York and Florida. The basic fact is that with all the negative publicity through the liberal media and because of the stupid, idiotic, brain dead liberal Democratic politicians, including with Jerry Brown, it's the American people who need those ones that follow the liberal rhetoric and the liberal, untrue, unfactual, and non-realistic shit. They are not thinking for themselves. They are not actually watching what he's doing and what his true intent is to make sure that we American people, including everybody outside of this building that I'm in, to start with, all across the U.S. Donald Trump is trying to give this country back to the American people. But the American people are listening to liberal politicians, the liberal media, and they're making it hard on him. And that's not even being a true American. If you want to be considered a true American, you need to support your president. Like many supported Reagan, many supported George W. Bush, being, of course, George W. Bush Sr., and the George W. Bush Jr. And I know many people supported and backed John F. Kennedy many years before, even though he was in the different party than Reagan was. Although when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California, granted, yeah, he was a Democrat. But when he was about to run for president, he switched parties, and it's a good thing he did. That's one of many reasons why he's known to be one of the greatest president this country's ever had. Is in this country's whole entire history. The basic fact is that you want to be considered a true American, you need to really, really, really watch and listen to what Donald Trump is trying to do, which is logical and positive. It's not ruining the country. It's not going to negatively affect the American people, as the liberal idiot politicians want you to believe. It's not going to negatively affect you in your medical plans. It's not going to negatively affect your futures or job employment situations. It's going to strengthen, make it better, and make the and what they when it comes to the insurance situation, the medical insurance, it's going to make it more cost effective than Obamacare was ever. Many people still don't realize, and I've said this before, many people do not realize still that Obamacare has nearly to totally bankrupt a moderate to large percentage of the population in this country. And it wasn't fully established when Covered California came into play for the state of California to start with, along with the Covered California version in New York City, being of course the Democratic version. But many people don't realize that. Oh, I don't want my medical insurance to be lost. I don't want to lose my medical insurance. Oh, woe is me. I'm gonna always listen to the liberal idiot Democrat politicians through the liberal media and believe them over reality and actual facts. That's the way that people have been acting. Oh, boo hoo. Fucking grow the fuck up. I don't mean to be so direct that way, but it's becoming to everybody in this country is becoming more dependent on information that 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 you later will find out in the many years to come was bullshit, being of course from the liberal idiot politicians, and what was factual through the current Republicans, both conservative and normal conservative politicians, and the Republican Party. But here's the thing, though, too. It is true that by Hillary Clinton's rants, Hillary Rodham Clinton, the one that lost and had it to work and made it to where everything that she said and everything that the party of the liberal idiot party said was to try to debunk Trump. With me around, that ain't gonna happen. And with many other Trump supporters, that's not gonna happen. Yes, Yes, I'm a U.S. citizen. Yes, I must be Hispanic. I don't. It doesn't matter. I was born in this country, and I'm gonna stand for and back up whoever I choose to. That's my God-given right, and that's every other person's God-given right. But don't fall into the liberal rhetoric crap, because that's exactly what the liberals want you to believe is everything that they say instead of you using your own fucking mind, because everybody has their own types of intelligence, but yet the liberals want you to believe that you're dumber than a fucking barrel of monkeys, man. I don't believe that you're dumber than a barrel of monkeys or anything or any phrase you want to use. The liberals obviously don't think the way I do on that. Everybody has their own intelligence. Everybody has their own ways of looking at things. But the basic fact is that many people, like I said, are so dependent on what other people are saying versus using their own heads, starting with the liberal idiot media. You listen to the liberal idiot media and the liberal idiot politicians, starting with Jerry Brown. If you live in the state of California, even if you are listening to Jerry Brown through the liberal media in other states, and if you're listening to any other liberal idiot jackass politician, and if you go by what they say versus using your own head and your own mind, your own intelligence, then something is definitely wrong. And I hate to say that, but that's the sad truth of today's society, unfortunately. People are so dependent on cell phones. So people are so dependent on information that you get on computers. So people are so dependent on things that in the 1970s people didn't depend upon anything except for living the way they could, the best way they could, within cost effectiveness to start with. They didn't worry about, oh, maybe I should worry about this because the liberal idiots want me to, or because they say that it's going to be negatively affecting you, something or other, you know? The basic fact is Trump is doing what he knows to be right. You may not agree with it, but the basic fact is, in the end result, you will see that it will better this country, and you will see that with what he's doing or trying to do, especially even with the liberal fake news media, trying to bash him any way and in every way they think they can, including with the PBS liberal democratic jackasses with the newsroom of PBS, or the news talk of PBS, or the Newsmax, which I've heard them kind of bash him too, but I don't follow Newsmax because they want to rant and rave over something that's what CNN's been known to do now. It's not logical, so I'm not going to waste my time on that. The logical thing is, if you really love this country, and if you really want what's best for yourself as well as the youth in this country besides your own children, you need to realize that the liberals are in the wrong. Trump is doing what is right and what needs to be done. Like I said, he's trying to give this country back to the American people. The liberals don't want him to do that. That's why you keep on seeing them bashing him. And that's why you see a whole bunch of idiots out there trying to say that they want Trump to be impeached, because the liberal idiots, the liberal idiot Democrats, and the liberal idiot fake news media, giving them a lot of false, untrue, non-realistic, unfactual information. I've been part of CRPHA. I'm ahead of CRPHA. I'm the one that came up with the whole thing. In fact, like I said, CRPHA is a replacement of NCHA. I came up with that because I'm doing my own action, like my father did as a Marine when he defended and protected this country as a Marine. I'm doing my part as an advocate, and I will always tell you the truth and actual facts. Believe it or not, I don't care, but I'm telling you, and you will find out eventually. And it is true. I can tell you also, it is true that by Hillary Rodham Clinton's bitch rants And yes, I called her a bitch because that's all she's been doing is bitch, bitch, bitch. I used to as when I first when I voted for her husband, when I was right around when I first voted at the my at the age I was when I first was able to legally vote, I respected her, and I felt bad for her when they told her to back down from the PBS thing when it came to our youth's education. But now I don't feel bad for her at all. In fact, she's completely gotten away from me having any sort of sympathy for her, and that's exactly what she wants: people to feel sorry for her because she lost. But at the same time, though, her rants are destroying, completely tearing apart the Democratic Party. The reason I'm smiling is because that's a fucking fact. Even with the liberal media saying it, they're saying it to about the very party um, that they are supposedly backing. Now something's wrong there. Are they backing the liberal? While even with the fact that they're showing the facts and truth of the liberal party, and the non and also but when it comes to Trump, the non-truths and non-realistic shit of the liberal party, or is the fucking fact that they'll do anything and say anything for a fucking story and just to make it dramatic? The basic fact is, either way it goes, if they cannot be supportive of Trump being our current president, then they are doing the un-American thing. And the un-American thing to start with is believing every little bullshit thing that the liberal Democrats say, which has no facts, no truth, nothing to back it on or with, or anything else for that matter. So it's bullshit from the liberal party. And also, here's another one. Here's another one. Okay, everybody knows now by now that Trump pulled the U.S. away from the Paris U.S. Accord when it comes to the, I guess, environmental situation, from what I understand. There is one of many things the liberals are trying to block you from knowing. There's a reason why he did that. It's cost effectively logical and reasonable and many other things. And it's one way that we are building this country back up. And yes, he is willing to do talks to where it would be more cost effective for both sides. But the liberals don't want you to know that. So therefore, logically, Trump is not 100% resistant against environmental situations and issues. The liberals want you to believe otherwise, though. That's why they're blocking trying to block his actual meanings and everything, and his true positive actions. They don't want you to see his true positive actions. They want you to believe everything that they spit out. And here's another one. Okay, Jerry Brown, as you know how much I dislike the dude, and so far now, if you've noticed on if you ever have Facebook or G Plus, and you've seen something that's under the aspect of CRPHA, posting with the globe on the posting, the globe symbol on the posting. Anyway, um, he has already gotten one strike from that point on of his negative baloney, especially with his negative rants and crap against Trump. The logical thing is that now, with his current situation, he's made a deal with Japan, China, whichever. I know it's Japan anyway. I know it's the overseas allies of ours anyway, of Japan, China, whatever. But he's made deals, a shook hand deal when it comes to the environmental situation after the Paris Accord was essentially dropped. Um, be that of course pulled out from anyway, but still in is willing to be in the works for it's more cost effective for both sides. That Trump will be willing to have talks with Paris on and about. But in any case, Jerry Brown doesn't realize the one thing. There are many things that our allies don't realize, don't seem to see that how brain dead the Democrats are. Therefore, it would without Jerry Brown really focusing on what's important, they can easily the allies can easily take things within their own advantage. Jerry Brown doesn't see it. Therefore, if they decide to raise the price and where Jerry Brown would obviously agree to it, which wouldn't affect the state of California financially and within its own budget, but the basic fact is they won't care. So, but yet Jerry Brown would try to act like they care, but come up with some sort of speech and bullshit that makes it more sound like really logical, a logical renegotiation, if that at all, even secretly. The basic fact is that Jerry Brown is not doing the true logical thing, nor is he being a true American. And he's not being a logical governor in thinking that everything that he thinks is better for the state of California, that the American people of this and be of course the citizens of the state of California would agree with and would have to deal with whether they want to or not. That's not the way to be a governor. You need to be willing to work around things towards where it's fair for both sides. The ones that don't agree with you and don't fucking like your fucking ass, Jerry Brown, and the ones that do and have supported you from the beginning. Thereby, you should not have gone into the deal with Japan. If you really want things to be logical, Jerry Brown, you need to really think. Don't go by what your party wants, Jerry Brown, because what your party wants is illogical and not realistic. And Jerry Brown, you've already gotten now 2 strikes. And yes, I will call for your impeachment if you make any more stupid moves. And if you keep on going against Trump in any way, shape, or form. And if you do not support him like every reasonable governor of any state should. And if you ever make any move of a retract of any move due to the stupid speed train, which I know that Trump gave you funding for, but yet when he gave you funding for the flood damage, Jerry Brown, you decided to use only a small percentage, a very small fucking percentage towards it when it needed the full fucking amount. And you decided to put the other half towards what you felt was better, what you felt was more important, when basically it was not in reality. When a governor does that type of shit, something is definitely wrong with their thinking. And something is definitely wrong with their logic, especially when they go against a president, regardless of the party affiliation. And also, you can't, and you know, also, it's not becoming of a governor to expect the American people of the state to go by what they think, what the governor thinks. And if they don't agree with it, oh fucking well, type of shit. That's not becoming of a true caring governor. You, Jerry Brown, are working for the citizens, be that, of course, the American people of California. They are not working for you. I know you'd like to think so, but that's not the case. You, Jerry Brown, are working to support and defend the American people of the state of California. Not the illegals, though. And I've said this before, too. There's many ways to make the illegals become legal. But so far, the actions of what Jerry Brown has done, like made a way to where the illegals would be able to get a driver's license, even though it's not constitutional at all. And he tried to do the exit California, and yet I know many people within his party are trying to make it come back again to as a retry. And believe me, exit California will destroy this state economically, financially, within the budget, and which basically would mean this damn state would turn into a fucking ghost town. The damn state of California would turn into a damn ghost town. Because nobody would be able to find a job, because many of the companies would leave this state under the generalization of exit California being a sanctuary. If this state was an actual sanctuary state, because the state of California would not be able to afford to help or even support the small businesses, which basically small business to start with is the backbone of every state in this country, economically speaking. First off, and also employment wise as well, all in one. And it would make it harder for people to survive in the state of California with no employment. I mean, it's bad enough in the city and county of Sacramento that it's practically jobless, and many people are still looking for jobs out there. Even programs that are even trying to help the homeless look for jobs. It's nearly fucking impossible. The only areas that you'd be able to find a job is within the, if at all, the city of Frisco and Daly City, Colma, the Silicon Valley area between Palo Alto, Mountain View, Menlo Park, San Jose, Sunnyvale, Cupertino, Sunnyvale, various other cities, but not out in Sacramento. Not even in the surrounding cities around Sacramento. And that's not very logical for a city and county that's supposed to be the capital of a state. But does Jerry Brown even see that? No, because if he did, then he wouldn't have the high tax plan for one, in which basically even before has scared away businesses. before it went into law, it scared away businesses, starting with Jack in the Box, Corporate Office, and many other companies have left this state. And also the corporate office of Carl's Jr. has left the state. Among other companies have left this state. The state of California, that is. So logically, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that Jerry Brown is the most illogical, non-realistic, irrational idiot of California. And he's given California the worst rap of non-positive shit ever in this state's history, in the state of California's history. But the liberals don't want you to see that or even know that. But it's a damn truth. So logically, ladies and gentlemen, it's not looking good for California until Jerry Brown either decides to step down and let someone else that actually knows what they're doing in the sense of working and supporting and defending the citizens of this state without trying to turn it into something that will break it and ruin it financially and economically and within its own budget. Yes, I know that when Arnold Schwarzenegger was our governor, he did one of many things illogical, like dipping his hands into the transportation funding, which basically screwed up the transportation system out in the state of California, all across the state of California. He didn't replenish it to where it would be rectified. He just left it each time he dipped his hand into it metaphorically. He didn't do a damn thing to make it better before he even dipped his hand into it metaphorically. So basically, Arnold Schwarzenegger, granted, yeah, he was a Republican governor, but he had no clue of what he was doing. I mean, I like the fact that I like him as an actor, like Kindergarten Cop and The Terminator 1 and 2 to start with, and also the movie called Eraser. That was an awesome one. But politically, but at the same time, I respect him, regardless of even if he was part of the Republican Party or not. But getting back onto Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown, he has already now 2 strikes. He had 1 strike when I posted it on Facebook about him and his negative bullshit actions. Now he has 2 because he doesn't realize what the environmental accord that he shook hands with one of our allies can do and will cost logically. But yet he expects the American people of the state of California to deal with it, whether they agree with it or not. That's again unbecoming of a governor. Many other things are unbecoming of a governor that he's done, including trying to turn the state of California into a sanctuary state just for as a safety net for the illegals, which basically is not constitutional either. Besides the fact that it will ruin the state of California, economically, financially, and within its own budget, which basically the economic and budget situation and financial situation within the state of California is not not on a positive level as it is already. Even with the fact that he was trying to spend more and more money for his little toy speed train project. going to be even way worse with the agreement and the possible secret agreement that he's made with one of our allies that was reported. It is true that Japan or China, whatever, owes the American people money, the American US of A money for helping them rebuild and everything after World War II. But now it's kind of a leveled situation to where we owe them money now and they still owe us money. But until we're paid off on our part, they won't have to send and they won't have to give us any money that they owe us from World War II of helping them rebuild. As the American as our troops and this whole entire country has helped in funding for that effort. Of course, I know that was many years ago. It still stands as a logical situation today. But like I said, they don't owe us anything because we owe them basically equal, if not a moderate more than they owe us in this country. Being we may owe them more than they owe us from helping them rebuild after World War II. So, but like I said, they won't have to pay it back until we're completely paid off. But the way Obama was working shit, mm-mm, mm-mm. we were lacking, actually more than lacking in paying what we owed them. But yet at the same time, I know Obama tried to get away to where they still owe us after World War II. It doesn't work that way in reality. It just never worked that way in reality. If one country, starting with the U.S. for example, owes another country, in this case Japan, China, what have you, if the U.S. owes that one country more than that one country owes us after World War II, then that one country doesn't need to logically pay us back as they have over the course of a certain number of years until the U.S. pays them in full. No holdbacks and no IOU type shit either. Until that's paid off, then Japan, China does not have to pay this country back a red cent. And I know Donald Trump would agree with me on that. I don't care if the liberals don't agree with me or not. I don't care if they have, even from the very beginning that I started advocating, if they agree with me or not. I don't care. But I'm telling the American people the truth, whether they like it, whether the liberals like it or not. And here's another one. Here's another part of it. When I mentioned Hillary earlier, just imagine this: if the Democratic Party is so damaged beyond disrepair that they won't be able to see it and they won't be able to notice it, to where they won't be able to stop it from happening. Here's what I consider to be a positive. Okay, you may eventually, the more you think about it too, after all the negative crap that they've put the American people through for no reason except for their own bullshit benefit within the party itself of the Democratic Liberal Party, the leftist liberals, as myself and Trump and Rush Limbaugh calls them. Here's the thing. Here's the positive. Once the Liberal Democratic Party crumbles down to disrepair, that leaves an open spot politically for a Green Party to take its place, or an independent party politically to take its place. One of those two. One of those two. And hopefully for this country's future and its own benefit and the future of the American people and our youth and the American people's benefit and our youth's benefit for the future as well, for all, we can only hope at this point. Once that actually happens to the Democratic Party, we can only hope and pray currently that when that spot is filled by the Independent Party or the Green Party, as everybody knows about since the 1990s. Hopefully, they will be logical enough to, after they form a complete political party, that they will be more equally logical in the sense of working in and supporting the Republican Party, be that starting with conservative, and actually work together with the Republican Party, both conservative and regular. But because obviously it's not helping this country when the Democrats are fighting basically against the Republican regular and conservative Republican Party. It hasn't helped this country one iota. It hasn't even helped the American people in any positive way either. But yet it's still happening in Washington D.C. to start with, and it's still happening in the state of California, and it's happening in every other state that has Republican and Democrats side by side. So I do hope for the day that the Liberal Party, the Liberal Democratic Party, does fall apart because of Hillary's bullshit rants and because of Jerry Brown's bullshit actions. And once I see negative, a negative, unconstitutional, especially action from Jerry Brown, believe me, I will be calling for his impeachment. And with that, I'm asking every American person that may like or dislike him, be that of course when I mean him, I mean the ones that like or dislike or don't even agree with or even fully agree with um, Donald J. Trump, our current president. Give him a chance. Don't listen to the liberal idiot Democrats. Do not listen to the liberal media of the ones I mentioned earlier. Just use your own head. That's what Heavenly Father gave us intelligence and brains for, man. Don't fall for the liberal party. Oh, if the Republicans take down the Obamacare, then it'll hurt the American people. Bull fucking shit. Don't believe that shit. Do not believe what the Democrats ever say. The Democrats want us to live in fear, and they want us to think that they are the saving grace. We have already given them two chances. And outside the positive part of what Bill Clinton did, outside of that, with Obama, it completely went down the tubes. Everything went straight to hell. But the Liberal Party doesn't want you to believe that. But I'm telling you the truth. The Liberal Party, the leftist Liberal Democratic Party, are not a saving grace for the American people or this country. They want you to believe that it is, so they can finish their agenda by turning this country into a socialist country and grown the government larger than the current Constitution allows, tearing the Constitution apart, in which Hillary had a plan to take out the Fourth Amendment, and she even voiced it out during the campaign of '06. And she also denied it, but the the whole basic fact is that it was reality. She was planning to do that. And if the Democratic Party was able to do that and rewrite the Constitution to their liking, the American people would be more than overly screwed with the freedom being gone, the American rights being gone, equality being gone, every positive thing that the Constitution allows the American people and gives the American people would be non-existent. That also goes with one other thing. And that other thing is simply, if the state of California went into a sanctuary state situation, the liberals want you to think that the American people that are legal citizens of the state, even with it being a safety net to and for the illegals, in which they want you to believe that it's not seen as such, but it is that in the whole entirety. It is a safety net for the illegals. But they want you to believe that the state will support the legal citizens as well as the illegals. Not true, not true. Because the whole thing is so the liberals can have a better chance the next time around. If the more illegals they allow in, even if the state of California became a sanctuary state, the better chances for the liberals to be on the White House, in which is known now with Trump in it as the American People's White House and the American People's House. But under the liberals, it won't be known as that, and they'll be able to finish their objective and their agenda to where this country would be turned into a socialist country, which is not logical, and the government would be able to be grown bigger, and the current Constitution of we the people of the United States of America would be torn apart and rewritten to the liberal Democrats' liking, which basically means we'd have to still kiss ass of the liberals, kiss their liberals fucking rectum and behind in general, however you want to put it, in order to keep our rights and freedoms and equality. So that means also everything that the ERA itself did for the women would be gone. Roe v. Wade would be obliterated. Everything that was positive and supportive for the American people would be bupkis. So logically, it's better to keep the liberals out of the White House, keep the liberals more than 100% in fucking check so they don't fucking fuck this country up. And the other thing is, do not follow every little bullshit thing that the liberals say. And I don't mean to curse all this time like I have so far, but I'm being honest. I'm being straightforward and honest. Because I care about this country as well as my father did as a Marine. I'm a Marine's son. Or there be that, of course, a son of a Marine. Being my father was a Marine, therefore I'm his son. And I am an advocate. I'm doing my part. And I'm telling you the straight truth of everything I've said in every one of my videos. From NCHA to CRPHA. And I know if you guys are focusing on this right here, You see the fast-drawn version of the USS Enterprise. Yes, I'm a Star Trek fan, but I believe in the future for our youth. I do believe in the future for our youth and for us and for this country. But the liberals don't want us to go that way. They want us to go the way they feel is more logical for them for us to go in their minds to where they're in full control, not the American people. And that's not being a very supportive party that the liberals are trying to play act like they are when they're not. A real logical supportive party, both political and otherwise, it respects the people's rights, supports the people's rights, backs and defends the people's rights. Being that, of course, the people being the American people, including our youth. The liberals are not that type of party. They don't support, they want to control. But yet at the same time they won't tell you the truth. They won't tell you that because they're afraid if they tell you the full fucking truth that they will lose your support, and it's a good thing. I'm telling you the truth because that's what needs to be done. They need to lose the American people's support. So they will know that there's no way in hell that they're going to bullshit the American people and get away with it. There's no way fucking in hell that's going to happen. Our youth's future and our youth and their well-being and our well-being and our future and this country's future is way too important to allow the liberals to get what they want by even BSing the American people. I will give you more information after about a week or more. But I do pray and hope that you take all the information I've given you into consideration, if not more, because I'm telling you the truth. CRPHA signing off. Have a good day.